doing today? Drinking some of my cinnamon tea today. Okay, today we're going to talk about garlic. And it is such a versatile herb. It's wonderful. You can get it in all kinds of different forms. It could be the entire head like we just saw. It could be just a single clove. You can get it dried. This is dried and chopped up and dried. And you could get it in powdered form. Lots of different ways to get garlic. You can even get it in already pureed. You keep in a tube in the fridge. So we tend to have this already on hand in our kitchens, so why not use it? Garlic is associated with the deities Hecate and Mars and the element of fire. So if you've ever just intentionally or not taken a clove of garlic, a fresh clove, not a cooked one, and just bitten into it, it actually does have a heat to it. And I think that's where we get the association of the element of fire. Now, it's not hot like a chili, but it definitely has a heat to it. Now, it's also associated with the planet of Mars. And as far as folk names that you might come across, it's referred to as poor man's treacle, which I really don't know where that one came from. If you're not familiar, treacle is usually something that it's a dessert, and it's usually so sickeningly sweet. I don't know. I don't know where they came up with that one. The only way I can guess is that maybe they really tried to attempt caramelizing it. I really don't know. Another name for it is stinkweed. And if you've ever pulled up fresh garlic, there definitely is a definitive smell. And even if you cooked with a huge abundance of garlic, yeah, you're definitely going to be smelling that. But, hey, I like garlic. Now, as far as magical uses for it, you can use it for protection, for healing, exorcism, and yes, this time I do mean exorcism. You got something really nasty you want to get rid of? We're not going gentle this time and using basil. We're going to go full force and use garlic for this. But you can also use it for banishing as well. It's a little bit softer ones, but if I'm not looking for quite that punch, I don't need that. I'll back it off and maybe use basil or something else. You can use it for lust. You can use it to hex someone or to break a hex that's been done to you. So lots of different ways to use it. It definitely has its purpose magically and medicinally. And that's something that we've found through time and science. Originally, folk healers and doctors alike in the Middle Ages uh, and into the era where we were dealing with the bubonic plague. I'm sorry, not the, yeah, Black Plague, bubonic plague. Believe one and the same. I'll have to double check that one. But yeah, yeah, don't mind me. Squirrel. So anyway, dealing with the Black Plague, they would hang strands of garlic. So you would take fresh garlic, it would still have its green tops to it, and you could braid all of those together and have a long chain of these. And to dry them, usually they would just go ahead and stick that by the front door. It gets the fresh breeze to help do that. But uh, the purpose of putting it by the front door in those times was they believed that the garlic would absorb the negativity, absorb that disease coming into the house before it actually could enter. It would catch it there at the threshold. Now, that still holds true to this day for some parts of healing. We actually can use this for high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and coronary disease, but be sure to consult your doctor and an herbalist before doing so. Now, You could also take just a clove, a single clove, take the paper off, and rub that inside your pan that you're getting ready to cook a savory dish, and it will absorb any negative energies that are there, so that you know you're starting with a fresh pan ready to go, and not to mention it's going to make your savory dish taste all the better. Now, sailors would keep garlic in their boats and their ships so that they could ward off shipwrecks. And so to this day, you're going to find garlic in ship's galleys. You can just keep it hanging by the front door to ward off negativity as well, and use it to cook intentionally. Now, as far as an intention that I might be using when especially when I'm cooking, if I'm wanting a really passionate night, I'm definitely going to cook a dish where I include garlic, whether it's in the sauce, or it's just to accompany the protein that I'm preparing. Um, I'm definitely factoring garlic into that. Just, it's hard to find a dish in history that's associated with um, lustful activities that doesn't include garlic. Now, as far as if you want to use it as an offering for your deity, it is associated as an offering for Hecate, and you could just leave the garlic whole if that's when you're communicating with her. If that's how she says she wants it, that's what you do. If she wants it in a different format, maybe she wants you to complete an entire meal that uses garlic as a prominent feature. Maybe you have to create maybe a garlic toast or something like that, where you're going to roast that garlic and really feature it. That'd be a great way to honor her on her day at the end of November. Another option would be to take an entire clove, or not entire clove, an entire head. If you've never done it, you could take this and put it in a baking dish, a glass baking dish, whatever you have that's oven safe. You could do it on a pan, metal pan if need be. You're going to cut off the top of this before you put it on the pan, and then you're just going to drizzle some olive oil over the top. Now, roast it in the oven, probably at least 30 minutes at like 400 degrees. You're going to let it roast until those cloves inside are super soft. So once they've gotten to that point, you're just going to take a pair of tongs and squeeze all of that goodness out of that head of garlic, and you'll have a lovely roasted garlic paste to work with to make that garlic toast. And you can put it in the fridge for a little bit, for a couple of weeks maybe. Otherwise, put some in the freezer to be able to save some to use later. But again, you can use it in lots of different ways, as far as, as a cooking preparation, whether it's as an offering or to put into a dish where you're trying to bring in those lustful feelings. If you have other uses for garlic, please put it down in the comments for me. I'd love to hear other options that people are coming up with for this particular item. If you're liking what you're seeing so far in this correspondence series, please give me a thumbs up. It really does mean a lot to me. And if you want to keep the conversation going, follow the links that I'll have down here below as well. And we can strike up that conversation over on Discord. All right, everyone, you have a great day, and thanks for joining me.
The Modern Sea Witch does not offer medical advice, only my experience from a magical perspective. Please do your research before working with any ingredient.